Hey friends, I'm going to show you the calf bind today. Calf bind is one of my favourite ties. It looks beautiful, it creates a really nice shape, but also you can go on to use it for things like partial and full suspensions once you're at that point. Even though it might look simple, I recommend not using it in suspension unless you're going to get personal supervision. Reason being is that the rope that you add onto it is going to dramatically affect the ropes that are already there. So you might look at this going, well, that looks pretty stable, I can pull that up. The rope that you grab on and how you grab on and how you come back through it will dramatically affect how those initial pieces of rope behave. So I'd recommend getting some supervision if that's what you're looking into. Okay, let's go through it step by step. Start by wrapping around the ankles twice, placing them flush together first. Once I've wrapped around, I'm going to take the bite and go between the ankles to make it into a double column tie. Note how I'm using the valley in between the ankles to bring it back through. I'm going to tie a knot and another one to secure it. I'm now going around the top, making sure I don't go into the back of the knee. And I go over and under this line and back on myself to pull this back into the centre. I go around above and then go in between to make this into a double column tie. All I'm doing on the back here is just hooking over the band of rope on the back. And I'm going to go over this cross again on the other side. Now I'm just using up this rope by going around again, over and under everything and pulling down. To finish off, I'm going to tie the end of the rope to the start of the rope, or to tie the working end to the bite. See, I only left a small bite here, so I'm only making one knot. And to get rid of these unsightly ends, I'm just going to make a quick slip knot. But you can hide them in any way you feel like. Make sure you check out the latest sections on anatomical placement and tips on how to tie this easier. So when I tie this line around the calves, where exactly am I going? Well, I'm avoiding the back of the knee because that's got no muscle, very little fat to protect it, and instead I'm going on the top of the calf muscle where it starts to get shallower. So why do we need to connect the front to the back in this tie? Well, for one thing, you're tying two columns together which can move independently, and that's going to put the rope you tie under a lot of stress. Connecting the front to the back adds a level of structure to it which makes it easier for it to stay in place. Secondly, you can see that the calf muscle changes shape dramatically based on whether the foot is flexed or not. So the tricky part of tying this tie is you've got two calves which are flush against each other and there's very little gap in between them. What we need to do is take advantage of the very small gaps that are there. So with that in mind, when I reach through here to make a double column tie, how am I doing that? What I'm doing is using this little valley below the calf muscles to pass the rope through. Same as when I'm constructing the upper part of the tie. When I go through, I'm using this valley between the calves, but when I come back, I'm using the gap between my thighs to pull it back through. It doesn't matter if you have a bit of extra fat there, because fat can be pushed out of the way a lot easier than muscle can. I'm going to tie it again, slight variation, this time giving myself a longer bite. As before, wrap around twice. This time, notice how the bite's huge. Go in between to make this into a double column tie. You might find this easier to lift the calves up to pull that through. Obviously we can't do this because we need to keep everything in shot. make a knot between the start and the end. Then go to the top of the calf, not into the back of the knee, over and under, and pull that rope back in the centre. Go around again. And go in between to make it into a double column tie. I've noticed that this looks slightly uneven now I'm editing it, but this is because Star is sitting on her hip to make it easier for the light and the camera to see what we're doing. And finish by tying the bight to the working end. And because we've got quite a lot of extra rope, we can put 2 knots on there. Hey friends, thank you for watching, and thank you as ever to our patrons for supporting the channel. If you're interested in supporting us and getting a little bit deeper into this, have a look for the link in the description.